Let's groove. Hello y'all, this is the Ninja DC making my third LACA video, and tweaking some things if you have not noticed. Today's subject, Equestria Girls Rainbow Rocks. First off, yes, it was better than the original and a solid step up from the first film in most areas, and proves once more that not all sequels are horrible. If Empire Strikes Back didn't do that for you already. That said, this film still had a few problems, mostly tied to the broadening separation of the pony and human worlds and their respective franchises. That said, Rainbow Rocks was overall a smashing success, with multiple improvements across a wide range of areas. Starting with the story, which is paced much more smoothly. Less plot holes help a lot with that. The structure and narrative are, in general, feel much less cliche than the first, and a lot of that is tied to Sunset. Sweet Celestia did not improve her characterization. We can see her struggles to get over her dark past and find acceptance by those she has hurt, and more importantly just try to find forgiveness for herself. He also carefully walked the line in making her ignorant in terms of friendship while not feeling stupid. Believe it or not, that is extremely hard.
Want some help? No thanks. We're good. Oh, okay.
She just feels naturally uncomfortable most of the time, like I do making these videos, which makes her triumphs all the more powerful. I also like Rainbow Rocks' comic-like tone, which is helped along by the potential comic continuity nods, like Star Swirl's interest in alternate dimensions, and Sirens. I mean, I could go on all day with improvements, like the better production values, the significantly improved climax, and the better soundtrack. It's just in general a better film, that has been noted by pretty much every other review and analyst on the subject. With that said, there are a few hiccups I feel need to be noted. First off, Flash is even more forgettable this time around, which is sort of a negative accomplishment, because wow. With improvements to Sunset, it just feels disappointing. Also disappointing were the villains, who were good overall and better than Sunset in the first film, but were not great, and that they serve their purpose and are a good step up from Sombra with some good comic relief thrown in, but not Chrysalis or Discord tier. However, my main concerns tie into that I wish Spike and the rest of the main six would have had more relevancy in the story. Spike was one of the best surprises about the first film, and here he is mostly there for exposition and a few gags. The rest of the main six, excluding Twilight, also seem to be there mostly to support Twilight and more specifically Sunset. I feel a lot of the time they are there just for Twilight or Sunset to bounce ideas or emotions off of. Rainbow Dash is sort of an exception to this, as she gets a lot more screen time this time around, mostly due to hardly getting any screen time last time, but in a more antagonistic way. She's a lot more hot-headed than she has been in the last, well, 2 seasons or so. But that makes sense, as Rainbow, along with the rest of the main six, are teenagers in this world compared to young adults in Equestria, and are different characters as a whole. The aging of characters between Equestria and Equestria Girls has created a lot of confusion, to say the least. What's for certain after this movie is the age transfer is not equal or proportional. The best evidence is the CMC being freshmen, meaning they are at most a 4 years age difference between Rarity and AJ and their sisters. Put bluntly, there is a much larger gap than that in Equestria. Other examples include Photo Finish being a high schooler and Celestia not being older than Granny Smith. Not to mention the creepy factor Big Mac and Shirley's ship would take if their ages were the same between worlds. Actually, that would be downright illegal. So it's safe to presume the main six were aged down in this world, while other characters were aged up or down in different ways. This would also explain their less mature personalities and behaviors, as this is not the young adult main six we are used to, half of which are living independently on their own, but a teenage version of themselves. And that's okay. What I mean is the age difference helps differentiate Equestria's main six from Equestria Girls' main six, which is good because they are different characters. Equestria Girls' main six has gone through much different life experiences than our main six. Those experiences and their history help reshape who they are. Those different interpretations are good, as it helps make Equestria Girls less of a what-if spin-off of Equestria and more its own thing that explores the main six in a different environment and time in their lives than the main franchise. This is extremely important for the future growth of Equestria Girls' narrative, as it can't be propped up for long as just the warped mirror of Equestria. Or put simply, why watch Equestria Girls when you could get the same thing from MLP but better. Having Equestria Girls be different and explore the main six in a way that the main show won't tackle, like their teenage years, is good for both, or at least potentially can be. So yes, Equestria Girls 2 Rainbow Rocks was a major improvement on the first film, even if it fell short in a few areas. Partially this is due to Equestria Girls trying to clearly differentiate itself this time around from the main franchise, so it can better stand on its own, which is a good thing in the long run that is teased by the post-credit sequence. Well, till next time, keep calm and an open mind. I'll admit, I would normally do a full-on video on this subject because it's a once-a-year event, but the quality of the video available for me at the time to reference won't really be available, or at least in good quality, till late October. Even for review purposes, using ripped cam footage raises all kinds of ethical questions, and I'll just prefer to wait. I might come back to the subject at a future point with more thoughts, just for a heads up. Now, for your patience, here's a low reward. And the